everybody, it's Chef Linda from Catskill Animal Sanctuary. Today we are making magic with these cashews. We are going to make cashew buffalo mozzarella. It is one of my favorite recipes to demonstrate and definitely my favorite recipe to eat. Let's get started and let's show you how this happens. So we are going to do this by using cashews, a lot of ingredients that you can have very easily in a well-stocked pantry. We've got some things that keep very well. Then, when we're done with this, we're going to make a little pesto, but not from basil, which is the summertime thing. We're going to make it from broccoli because it is so good for you, and it is just a nice switch. So,
say hi to Christy.
Hi, Christy.
And Fred.
Hi, Fred. How are you? Good, glad you're here. So this is 1 cup of cashews that have been soaked in water for about an hour. Okay, and that is what is going to be the base of this delicious buffalo mozzarella cheese. Buffalo mozzarella cheese, made with dairy, originally was buffalo, water buffaloes, Italian. It's a very soft, luscious cheese. It's not that hard, grateable kind of cheese that you may be familiar with. So this is like a very rustic, beautiful, creamy cheese, and it's so perfect for summer, so perfect for tomatoes. So that's why I wanted to demonstrate this now. So I'm going to take my cashews that have been soaked and drained.
Say hi to Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Christine.
Missed you. Christine, how are you? Chef Linda here.
Is it fresh mozzarella? It will be, Tom.
It will be. It will be. So we have a cup of soaked cashews, drained them, soaked them for about an hour so that they're very soft. And when you soak your cashews, it also makes them more digestible. So good reason to soak them. The next thing we're going to do...
Natalie and Heather.
Hey, Natalie. Hey, Heather. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a 1/2 cup of non-dairy, unsweetened milk. We definitely don't want sweetened milk or milk that has vanilla in it or anything like that. I'm using hemp milk today. I like hemp milk. If you can see this, this is so creamy. It is a really creamy milk. Did I pour a 1/2 cup? Yes, I did. This milk, so we know that we can get so many delicious plant-based milks right today in the store. And hemp milk, this one is from Trader Joe's. I like this one because A, it is really creamy and it works really well in this recipe. B, there's only a few ingredients in this. Sometimes the boxed milks have more ingredients, so this has only a few ingredients, so I kind of like that. Next month, August, is World Plant Milk Month. So if you haven't really experimented with your plant milks, try some hemp milk.
Is hemp milk thicker than oat?
Oat milk is a nice creamy one too. Those I think are the 2 creamiest for me. Coconut is a whole different thing, right? But I like hemp, I like oat for its creaminess. It's got like a nice luscious mouthfeel to it. So, we've got our milk, we've got our cashews. The next thing we're going to put in there is some, what used to be melted coconut oil, but I turned on, got a little cooling here. So this is melted coconut oil, practically melted. And we're using coconut oil in this cheese because part of what we love about cheese is not just the taste, right? It is the mouth feel. It's what feels luscious in our mouths. Coconut oil does that for us. And it also helps us to keep our cheese firm and gives it the right texture. So I'm using refined coconut oil, 3 tablespoons, and you can use unrefined. Refined has the scent kind of removed from it. So if you're very sensitive, I've used it with regular coconut oil. Unrefined, I feel like it tastes great.
Ronnie, Bonnie,
hi,
Rhoda.
Welcome. So the next thing
Annie.
Next thing I'm going to add is tapioca starch. So tapioca starch, tapioca is a root. I'm using Bob's Red Mill. They're different brands. It's not expensive. It's, I don't know, like $3 or something for the bag. Lasts forever. Tapioca starch is similar to potato starch, cornstarch. We use them as thickeners in sauces and in gravies. We use them when we make our vegan cheeses because they pull things together and thicken things. Tapioca has this magical way of making cheese a little bit stretchy. So that's why we're using tapioca. So if you can find it, it will give you a nice end result in our cheese. So I'm putting in 3 tablespoons of that. I'm gonna add in some lemon juice, right? Cheese usually has a little bit of tang to it. Our vegan cheeses can be made by fermenting, which is really simple, but I don't have the patience for that, right? So instead of fermenting, I use lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. That works well too. So half a lemon is a tablespoon or 2, gives you a nice tanginess that I really like. I'm going to need this lemon press later for our pesto. So I'm going to put that over there. So the next thing I'm going to add is a little bit of nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast, this is one of the brands that are very available, very popular out there, Red Star. It is, I'm sure you all know, but I always like to tell people who may be new to Jane Unchained and LunchBreak Live that it is a powdery yellow, cheesy, flavorful product that we use that gives like a nice umami kind of taste, and it works great when we're making cheese because it tastes a little bit like cheese. So I'm only using a couple of teaspoons. Then we're going to add a few other things to season it. I have a little bit of garlic powder, ½ a teaspoon, a little bit of onion powder, ½ a teaspoon, and a teaspoon of salt. Cheese has salt in it. It's got a little flavor, but because we're using cashews, we want to add a little bit of flavor in here. The big flavor bomb that I love is miso. This is miso paste. This is miso paste. And this is one of the popular brands. If you're not familiar with miso, it's Miso Master, it's organic. This is made with soybeans, but you can find, if you're soy free, you can find miso that is soy free, made with grains, even chickpeas. Miso adds this beautiful, very rich, very complex background flavor when you use it in good proportion in a recipe. So if you don't have miso and you wanted to make this, you could get by without it. You might need a little bit more nutritional yeast, but I like miso in here. So that's about a tablespoon. And that, my friends, is step 1 of the recipe. So I'm going to take this and put this on our blender back here, put a little lid on it, and we're going to blend it quickly. What we want to do is blend it so there's no texture. You can do this in a food processor. You're just going to have to blend it for a little bit longer because you don't want grittiness to it. You want to be completely smooth and luscious, okay? So let me get my little tamper here and let's turn this on. And we got a blender dance. All right, I'm going to turn it up to high. Let's see. Now let me move this out of the way. So, what I always tell folks when you're making something, taste along the way. Is anybody asking questions?
No, they're just saying that Van's having too much fun.
So, taste along the way when you cook. It's a great way to find out if you've forgotten an ingredient, if you forget the salt, if you forget, and that's what's great about being vegan, right? There's nothing raw in here that we can't eat, so we can taste as we go. In this stage, it should taste delicious. That tastes delicious. It tastes a little starchy, right? Because the starch that we put in here is going to get activated in the heat when we add it to the pot, and it will cook out the starchy taste, but it will bind it together. So that's step 1. This is a half a cup of water. So when I cook and when I teach, I like to use ingredients that are easy to find, very familiar, with the exception of one ingredient that I think every good vegan should have in their pantry: Agar Powder. Agar Powder is this very, very, very fine powder. You can see that. I blow it into the camera, but you blow it up.
Be the last time the cameraman worked.
So agar powder is made, agar is a sea vegetable. You can find very easily agar flakes. I don't like working with the flakes so much. They're harder to dissolve and they take a while, and if you don't dissolve them, they have like a texture that I don't really appreciate. So I always use agar powder. You can buy this online, anywhere online. This is probably $8 or $9, and it's literally years old. This bag, which you can probably tell, is years old because you only use a little bit at a time. So,
is Oat Milk the thickest?
I think it depends what brand. I've had some that aren't as thick, but I find Oat Milk to be, the Oat Milk creamers are fantastic. They are really, really thick, and in fact, they make a barista, who is it, Khalifa? I can't remember what brand. They make an oat milk barista blend which froths up beautifully for your vegan cappuccino. So it is really, really thick and delicious.
Does the tapioca flour give it a sweet taste?
No, no sweetness here. The cashews have their own gentle sweetness, but it is not going to add sweetness from tapioca. So I'm going to take this and put it over here. And right now our water is coming to a simmer. So the way agar is activated is by heating it in a liquid. So I have a tablespoon of agar. Looks like a lot, it's 3 teaspoons, but yeah. So what you do with agar, and you can see how fine it is, right? What you want to do is whisk it into water and just keep stirring it. You don't want it to clump up. And you only need to cook this. I'm going to turn this down. You want to cook this on kind of a medium temperature because you don't want it to scorch or burn. But you can see that it's going to, look at that, it turns into like a gel, if you can see that. On its own, it doesn't have a flavor. So this doesn't taste like seaweed. It doesn't taste like anything if you don't like that kind of flavor. It does have a strange consistency, but it works so well in things like pumpkin pie. I've used it in pumpkin pie. I've used it in cheeses. I've used it, where else have I used it? I'm sure I've used it in other things, but it's a really helpful thing to have in the kitchen. It's like gelatin, right? And we know gelatin is made from unkind ingredients, and so this is a great alternative. You can, I think you can make flan, yeah, you can make flan with it, so very nice. So do you see how it's thickening up, and you can see the bottom of the pan here, or the pot? You only need to cook this, because it's agar powder, for like, I don't know, a minute or two. Make sure it's all combined and it is getting nice and thick. If you only have flakes, or you can only find flakes, I would recommend, if you have a spice grinder, put the flakes into a spice grinder and grind them up. That will help. And if you're using flakes in any recipe, make sure that you do a conversion, because you're going to use more agar powder, less agar powder than flakes, because flakes are flaky, they take up more room. Agar powder is very fine. So look at that. So that is our beautiful agar. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in our yummy cashew mixture, right? I'm going to pour that right in here. Look at that deliciousness. It's already flavored. It already tastes great. And what we're doing by heating it is combining it with the agar. And then we're also activating that tapioca starch. And we want, basically what we're trying to do is, we want this liquidy, very loose mixture is going to turn into something that we can actually scoop and chill and slice. So, and you can see it's starting to come together. And what will happen is you want to keep stirring this though. And I like to use, you know, a little silicone or wooden something. Keep stirring it so that you you just keep moving the bottom so you don't scorch the bottom. And it's going to start to come together and pull away from the sides and start to form this really stretchy kind of ball. So what I've done, this is really weird, but I want to show you this. So if you see this? This is agar. It's like, it's almost like, I don't know, it's like silicone almost or something. It's very strange. It's a very strange food, but we like it. We like it for what it does for us. So, what am I doing next? What I want to show you is that I've got an ice bath prepared. This is an ice bath. This started out as 50% water, 50% ice. And we're going to drop our mozzarella mixture into cold water, ice water, and it will chill very quickly. It'll set its shape, and then you want to chill it for a little more because this is going to be hot. So we're going to keep on stirring. You can see it's getting a little lumpy. It's not getting grumpy.
Like the cameraman.
Cameraman's only grumpy when he doesn't get to eat. So you can see now, do you see how the bottom, like every time I look this up it goes off, but you can start to see that the bottom, you know, it's pulling away from the bottom. And that means it's thickening. You can actually see the bottom of the pot. So this takes maybe 5 minutes or so to really develop fully. So while this is cooking, I want to tell you also that this cheese, right, we know it's just such a great recipe because it just goes to show you that there's so many ways that you can live without dairy, right? We talked about plant milks, you can make your own, but even cheeses are so easy to make. There's so many on the market today that are delicious, that have come such a long way, but it's so easy to make them. In fact, I'm teaching a vegan cheese class on September 16th, and we're doing it at a discounted price because we really want you to learn how to make some important cheeses. We're going to do like a feta cheese. I'm going to do a cheddar cheese sauce, I think. I'm doing, I'm not going to do this because you just saw this. So, but I'm doing like 4 cheeses, and it's really a game changer. And once you learn how easy it is to use different ingredients to make the textures and the flavors that you love, it's really, it just changes your life. And for vegetarians out there who think that they can't give up the dairy, this class really, really helps. So go to casanctuary.org to sign up. It's on September 16th. I'm also teaching next week. I'm teaching Southern style barbecue, and one of the best things I've ever made. This is one of the best things I've ever made. Next Lunch Break Live, I'm going to do another one of the best things I ever made. But my next class is making seitan ribs, boneless seitan ribs. They are
so good.
Amazing. Like, they are amazing. They are amazing.
How are they?
Amazing. They are just some foods and some things you can do are like game changers, and it really, really are. It's really great to learn some of these recipes that are so easy. So that's next week, next Thursday. You can also sign up online for that. And then later in September, I'm doing a sauce class. Essential vegan sauces, because we vegans love our sauces. We know how they can kind of change the world. So, can you see how this like literally is just in a stretchy kind of ball here, a very loose ball? That's what you want it to look like. Kind of pulls away from the sides. Beautiful. I'm going to turn that off. And get that off. And now we're going to shape it. So this is fun. This is why I think this is such a fun thing. So into our ice bath, we're going to scoop this mixture. And remember, buffalo mozzarella has like a very rustic, like just beautiful appearance, right? So you can do you can do it a couple different ways. You can do it with measuring spoons. Most people have measuring spoons. That's easy to do. And all you do, if you look at this, you see how stretchy, it's hot. This is hot, obviously, right? So all you do is kind of scoop it up. You know, you can perfect it if you like. That is hot. So, or just kind of let it flow. But I'm gonna put it into this ice bath, plop it right into the water, she says, as it doesn't plop in. Let's try that again, Linda. Let me try a different spoon. I'm gonna try a bigger one, but you can make all different sizes. You can make the little bocconcini, which are fun to make. I'm gonna take that, put it right into the water. Weird, I don't know, I just made this and it all popped out beautifully. Let me put my scoop in here. Maybe I'll wet it first. So I'm gonna make a bigger one. So this is like the kind of size I would use to make like a caprese salad, right? With the tomatoes. So you scoop it up. We're gonna plop it in our water, and very soon.
How's that for an answer, Tom?
What do you say? What do you ask?
Would an ice cream scooper work?
Oh yes, Tom. These are, yeah, I mean, portion
You grabbed it before I could read it. Never mind.
Tom, you have good instincts. So again, this is a good size. You can make a bigger size, but I kind of like this because it'll chill in a reasonable amount of time, and it's a nice size to slice for tomatoes. I was so happy because today the rest of what I'm going to show you are tomatoes that I grew from my own garden, which is just so rewarding. So I'm just scooping this out. I'm making the big ones, but again, I just want to prove to you. I want to prove to you that this works. I just did it. I'm making another small one. Oh, I didn't wet it first. Goodness gracious, Linda, come on. I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to scoop out a little tiny ball, put it right into the water. Okay, that's a little shaggy, but you get the idea. So once these chill, you're going to have this, and you could eat this, honestly, like, if you didn't put the agar in here, say you just made the mixture with the tapioca, you could basically turn it into like a nice like cheese sauce for dipping, for
Fondue.
Yes!
See, Colleen, we didn't forget you.
Fondue. Oh my God, I love fondue. That's like a nice winter thing.
It's fondue to fondue.
So I've got, let's see, that's 5. So this makes about 6 or 8, you know, depending on what size scoop you use, and a lot more of the smaller ones, right? So this, just like this.
Anytime, Colleen, anytime.
I'm gonna plop that in there because that'll firm up. So now what we're gonna do, I want to show you, move all this out of the way. I want to show you what they look like when they're done. So these would go into the refrigerator. You could leave them, this is, you would put, let's do this. This is what I would do. Let's put a little salt in here, because if you're gonna let these sit, you know, overnight or for a few hours, normally if you bought like buffalo mozzarella, it would be in a brine, and it just kind of adds to the taste so it doesn't get watered down. So put a little salt in the water, the ice is gonna melt in the refrigerator, and that's how you're gonna store it. So if you're not gonna eat all this cheese, that's a lot of cheese to eat. People have asked me, is this healthy? Well, it's healthy. It's way healthier than dairy, of course. But let's remember, it's cheese, right? And so cheese has fat in it. The nuts are a healthy fat, coconut oil, like, so you don't want to eat all of this, right? So if you're gonna save it all, save some of it, keep it in a container, put a lid on it, and keep it in the salted water. And it'll keep for days. I've done it for a week, and it's been delicious and fine. So, I want to show you, I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to switch gears to do a pesto. We wanted to show you how you could use this cheese, this buffalo cheese, in a delicious summer recipe. I'm just going to switch my plugs here. And
Switching gears.
And I want to show you also.
This is live, as you can tell.
So this
No editing here.
This is a finished batch. I've already gone through it, so the water's a little murky because I've put together a plate. But I want to show you. Just want to show you. This I made this morning, so it's chilled. But I just want to show you like how that holds together, right? Even the big guy. Now this has been sitting on the countertop for a little bit, so it's a little warm in here. But that's like one of the big balls that of buffalo mozzarella. It slices. Do you see the texture in here? Whoops, the firmness, right? So you can slice this and do lots of fun things with it, which we're gonna do, which I'll show you. So I just wanted to show you that it does slice. It is soft. Again, buffalo mozzarella is a little softer, but this is so darn delicious, just as it is, with no other ingredients, no pesto, no tomato, nothing, just like that.
See, cameraman gets zilch.
That is so delicious. If you are thinking about being vegan, if you are a vegetarian, I would urge you to really try vegan cheese. Give these things a chance because they make such a difference, and there is life after cheese. In fact, that's the name of my class. So let's make our pesto, and then I'll show you how we can put some things together. We're good. Let's see. So bring my pesto. Oh! Well, how about that? This is stuck.
Agar.
I'm sorry about that, folks. We're gonna make a little broccoli pesto here. So I like broccoli pesto because it's not basil pesto, and I feel like everybody uses basil pesto, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I like it with broccoli. It adds a lot of wonderful nutrition. I had a few extra little guys. I didn't want to save them, so I'm putting those in there. I do have a little basil in here, but this is just chopped up broccoli. And if you've got big stems like that, you might want to put a little bit in at a time. And my lid. So broccoli is such a great vegetable. Anti-cancer properties in there. Immune boosting properties in there. Goodness gracious. And so when you eat it raw, it has a beautiful texture. You don't cook the broccoli for the pesto. So I'm going to chop it up a little bit.
Loving the tea towel.
So my tea towel. Aren't they so cute? Look at on the back. We have a beautiful recipe. One of our most popular recipes is our no-bake chocolate peanut butter bars. This is like crowd pleaser. This is so easy. You don't bake it. Only a few ingredients. Cute little tea towel. Nice to have to wipe your hands on. You can get that at casanctuary.org in our shop. So I'm going to put in the rest of the broccoli here. I'm going to put in some almonds. You could use pine nuts, you could use walnuts, you could use pumpkin seeds, but I'm going to put that in. I'm going to use nutritional yeast, right, because we want that cheesy flavor. Instead of Parmesan, we don't need that. I always like, where did I put my, I always like to use lemon juice in my pesto. Some people don't, but I'm going to put lemon juice in here. And if you don't have a lemon press, or if you dropped it on the floor like I did, you can use your hands to just squeeze the lemon into, and it will catch the pits, and then you don't have to worry about it. See that? There's a pit, just caught it.
Yes, Tom, she added basil in there.
A little bit of basil. You can add as much or as little as you want. It's probably about 2 cups of broccoli, and then we're going to add some oil. But I do want to add my garlic, which when I picked up my tray, fell on the ground, and we don't want to use garlic from the ground. So I'm using peeled garlic. I'm putting in 2 cloves. Garlic is so good, so flavorful. You cannot make pesto without garlic, right? Here's a trick. If you are sensitive to garlic and it's just like a little too strong, yes, you can use less. You can also blanch it very quickly, which means just plopping it into hot water very quickly. It takes that sting out of it and still gives you a very mellow, beautiful flavor. So let's put this on. Okay, so do you that beautiful broccoli. I love it. I just love, love, love making pesto with broccoli. And that means in the summertime, or when summertime's over, and basil is not growing abundantly, I'm putting a teaspoon of salt. You can use, you can save your broccoli stems and make it with just broccoli stems. It's just a great way to have a fall or just a different kind of pesto. So let's put our olive oil in. We like to stream it in if we can. I'm going to put it on and stream it in. That helps it to blend, gives it a richness. Okay, and so because we're using a raw vegetable like broccoli, which doesn't have like a luscious feel, we do use some olive oil in this recipe. Look at how just look at how beautiful that is. I think that is gorgeous, right? We eat with our eyes. I always want people, when I'm doing a demonstration or a class or talking about food, I want you to fall in love with food. I want you to fall in love with just such simple things. So let's taste it and see. Oh my God, that is so beautiful and delicious. So what we're gonna do is, what would you do with this pesto in summertime? I'm gonna move that out of the way, put that over here, and I'm gonna show you. This is a beautiful caprese salad. I took our buffalo mozzarella, I sliced it up just like you saw. I wanted you to see that it is sliceable. I sliced up tomatoes from my garden, gorgeous. I also wanted to show you, and I put some fresh herbs on, right? I also wanted to show you that you could, if you have cherry tomatoes, which I also grew, or pear tomatoes, you can use the little ones, and you can make these fun little party food, like party skewers. So it's a little caprese on a skewer. And I would drizzle that with a little olive oil or even a little balsamic vinegar. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take some of this pesto and we're just gonna kind of plop it around on our beautiful, beautiful, that is a summer salad. Oh my God, that looks so fresh and beautiful.
It's pouring over here, Tom.
It's not pouring. For once, Tom, it's not pouring. So look at that gorgeous summer plate. You could do this for a party. Can you imagine?
Whose dinner is that, Colleen?
Can you imagine how impressed and amazed your guests would be if you made mozzarella cheese and served them a salad, a caprese salad like that, or little fun skewers with pesto on them like that, or even, I tried one other thing right before class, just to show you how versatile. Look at these cute, cute, cute cutie pie mini pizzas made with puff pastry, a little bit of our cheese, and I would add a little bit of pesto on top and spread that around, a tomato, and that's it, puff pastry. I cut a little outline, put the tomato, salt, cheese right on top, a few fresh herbs. Bing, bam, boom, look at these. How gorgeous. You serve these at your next party, serve these on Labor Day, serve these tonight. They're that easy. Look at that, aren't they beautiful? So, from Chef Linda and Catskill Animal Sanctuary. Oh, let me tell you one more thing. Sorry. Goat Games. So Goat Games is our huge summer fundraiser. It is an opportunity you can join a team on one of 9 sanctuaries. 9 sanctuaries. If you love animals, there are 9 sanctuaries participating this year, and we are all raising money. Raising awareness for animals, the plight of farmed animals, and how you can live without eating them, wearing them, using them. So you can join a team. We're on Team Jeter over here for the moment, but we're actually on Team Chester at Catskill Animal Sanctuary. You join a team, you can run, walk, bike, hula hoop, you can bake, you can Netflix, you can do whatever it is, raise money, join a team, participate. It starts the week of August 15th. And so check that out on casanctuary.org. So until then, I was going to put that in my mouth, but I'll probably poke myself with the luck I'm having today. So make some vegan mozzarella cheese. Take my cheese class. Try some plant-based milks. Eat plants, not animals, and delicious, delicious recipes. So you'll check that out on Jane Unchained's website. The recipe, the photos, they'll all be up there. Thank you, Jane Unchained, and LunchBreak Live, and everybody who tuned in. I will see you next week. Next week, I am making a sweet treat that will is also a game changer. So I will see you then. Bye.